All right. So I don't usually do talking in schools and stuff. Like I usually uh, rap and sing. Yeah. Like the touring is messed up because you go away and every when I was younger, when I was here, I was a Vanier student. I was at first in night school, and then what was that? I went at first in night school, and then eventually I switched to day school. That's what I wanted to do for a long time to get into the crew of people who were there during the day, have this college experience. But I remember at the time how it felt, and it could be very demanding, very hard on you. So when you start traveling, you think it's gonna be better and everything's gonna be all right, but it's kind of the same thing, but in every city you go, like that nonstop. So before I start showing you all this stuff, I thought it made sense if I just did a song uh, that I do all the time everywhere. Let's do this shit. Oh yeah, broken and shit. C'est pas normal quand tu dis que l'argent suffit. Broke as fuck like the world would expect from me. Solitude, solitaire, fais les terres. Shut 'em up, make a sound, make a sound. I'm acting on impulse, la même fête que impost. Le 12 de septembre, je connais les symptômes. She knows the symptoms, she fucking with me. They hate my big mouth, I'm losing my shit. I'm losing it. I'm losing it, baby. Imagining shit, and it's driving me crazy. This lavish life God wanted to give me. Love and pain is controlling me lately. I'm on some shit. I'm on some shit. I'm on some shit. I'm on some. I'm on some. I'm on. I'm losing it, baby. I'm losing it, baby, and it's driving me crazy. I'm losing it, baby. I'm losing it, baby, and it's driving me crazy. I'm losing it, baby. I'm losing it, baby, and it's driving me crazy. I'm losing it, baby. I'm losing it. I'm on some whatever's left in the bottle. My ex looks good, she don't need to be a model. I'm on some shit, whatever they need to follow. See this shit, the neck fly, you don't need to be a rival. An op, whatever you call that shit. I'm up, whatever you want, I'm slick. Dancing with the broom, like I'm turbo up in this beat, make moonwalk, glide up in this, slide up in this, slide up in this bitch. I'ma slide up in this bitch, slide to the left, slide to the right, glide like this water and some soap under my kicks. I'm live, now they wanna take a picture of my work. We're still in the school, come on. Hey. I'm on some whatever's left in the bottle. My ex looks good, she don't need to be a model. I'm on some shit, whatever they need to follow. See this shit, the neck fly, you don't need to be a rival. An op, whatever you call that shit. I'm up, whatever you want, I'm slick. Dancing with the broom, like I'm turbo up in this beat, make moonwalk, glide up in this bitch. Slide up in this bitch, I'ma slide up in this. Slide to the left, slide to the right. Glide like this water and some soap under my kicks. I'm live, now they wanna take a picture of my work. And my grades and all that, everything. So one more time, I know, but loosen it up because it's a school and you guys don't ever get to see shit like this for free. I'm on some whatever's left in the bottle. My ex looks good, she don't need to be a model. I'm on some shit, whatever they need to follow. See this shit, the neck fly, you don't need to be a rival. An op, whatever you call that shit. I'm up, whatever you want, I'm slick. Dancing with the broom, like I'm turbo up in this. Beat, make moonwalk, glide up in this, slide up in this, I'ma slide up in this. Slide to the left, slide to the right, glide like this water and some soap under my kicks. I'm live, now they wanna take a picture of my feet. Oh yeah. So alright. We're gonna talk about multilingualism in I don't know how to say it. In music. Oh yeah. Thank you. So Quebec. Quebec is in Montreal. Or Montreal's in Quebec. Yeah, Montreal's in Quebec. Montreal's in Quebec, but it's also in English Canada. So it's in both places. It makes no sense because it's an island that is in Quebec, but is also in Canada. And Quebec doesn't want to, be in Canada according to what Quebec says against what Canada says. So, right. It's New Europe because it's just all of this is happening because Europe brought that shit here. And people call it Diet Paris. That really made me laugh. Like, it's really funny. It's like, c'est la campagne up in here. Like, it's Bouclier Canadien. This is like on the Mount Royal during the winter, so you see how it gets really, really cold. It's a one island in the middle of the mountains that is cold. But from when you drive through the South Shore, 45 minutes, and you're in New York, the state New York, but you're in New York, and To compare that to English Canada, which I'm going again, I was in Vancouver a lot, and I've been in Vancouver a lot this year. The homelessness in Vancouver on East Hastings, as if you ever heard about it, it's really bad. You've never seen something like that. It's like Skid Row. It's really, really, really bad, and it's kind of stuff you wouldn't see here because I think Quebec doesn't have the same values when it comes to getting high, really, to be honest with you. Just doing drugs. Like the drugs here and drinking and stuff like that, like it's completely different compared to on the West Coast, the way people deal with anxiety, depression is right to the drugs and then they end up in the streets. So while here, I think it happens, we have a different way of dealing with people who are suffering like that. So the education is also very different. Like you have to choose. I went to school in French my entire life, and then the first time I was in school in English, it was in this building. So I could decide. From the West Island, you take the 470, you get all the way up here. But anywhere else, it's like the first most Western, like metro station here, like the Côte Vertu station is far for you in Laval or yeah, kind of, because yeah, it's far, shit. So it's far, and the funding in the arts is different. As like the funding here, you have to deal with the French English stuff. In Canada, the rest you don't have to deal with that. It's just funding for the arts. So I wanted to make sense with what I said. So this is, Montreal on the east. It's francophone as hell. It's really, you can see it. The blue is francophone, the red is anglophone, and it's more on the west. And it's a more deeper issue that starts from before. So even if you're doing music, depending on what you're gonna attack, like, or just market yourself, this would make sense, because if you want to make music in English, you could have an audience here. If you want to make some music in French, you have the other side. And I thought it was interesting, because this is in Côte des Neiges, right there. And in Côte des Neiges, in that little small area, that block, there's more than 46 languages spoken just in that area. And, it's, because it's Montreal still, it's still like, it's cool and all, but compared to Toronto, once again, Toronto's killing it with much more, these 63 languages in an area like this. Wow, 45 is still cool, because I don't know if you're gonna see that kind of stuff anywhere else in the country. So that's me as a baby. Which language did I speak as a baby? I was a baby. I didn't speak anything. So this is an album I made called At Least My Love Loves Me. It's a picture of my parents, and it's like, in my head, when I was a kid, it meant so much to me. I was like, oh my God, this picture of my parents, I just want something like this in my life. So I made an album with it just to explain how I'm just the result of other people, I go by Maky Lavender, and the lavender part, if I want to attribute it to somewhere, it should be my parents. So I made this video, and it changed a lot of my life, but not as much like you guys would think. Like, it's not like I got a call from like Jay-Z or something like that, nothing. No, I made this video, and a lot of people started talking, and it's really weird for people, because from where I'm from, like, this kind of content doesn't, pierce through that much. So.
Welcome back, thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce a very talented young man. He's got the soul, he's got the pipes, and he's as black as Jack. Let's hear it for Maky Lavender. Take it away, Maky.
I've been running around, going through the motion. Too much gin on my mind, I be losing focus. Been on pillies daily, I've been rolling. Here with shawty, even though I'm feeling lonely. If I'm drinking too much, maybe that's my limit. I don't like recording, I be feeling timid. Too much pride to say that I've been feeling jealous. On the flight, don't care where I'm going. If I land, I might fall right on my face. Broken up, then I might need a piece. Do too much, man, I don't wanna leave. You the soundtrack, you the music to my life. All the chords around me gotta be defined. Where I'm going, man, I might need a sign. Do too much, man, I don't wanna leave. You the soundtrack, you the music to my life. I'ma flow, I roll. I get by depending on the sun you give me. I can follow the moon. I get there and I can show you what you missing. I'ma flow, I roll. I get by depending on the sun you give me. I can follow the moon. I get there and I can show you what you missing. I'ma flow, I roll. I get by depending on the sun you give me. I can follow the moon. I get there and I can show you what you missing. I'ma flow, I roll. I get by depending on the sun you give me. I can follow the moon. I get there and I can show you what you missing. I'ma flow, I roll. I get by depending on the sun you give me. I can follow the moon. I get there and I can show you what you missing. I'ma flow, I roll. I get by depending on the sun you give me. I can follow the moon. I get there and I can show you what you missing. I'ma flow, I roll. I get by depending on the sun you give me. I can follow the moon. I get there and I can show you what you missing. I'ma flow, I roll. I get by depending on the sun you give me. I can follow the moon. I get there and I can show you what you missing.
Big round of applause for Maky Lavender. Maky Lavender, everybody. Thank you, Maky, for that beautiful trip around the world. Maky Lavender.
All right. So, hold on. There's a point to be made with this. Because this was a way for me, because I won this grant, and this was a kind of a way for me to just show how the industry was going to try to change me no matter what. So we just got together with a friend of mine, him, Alex, right? And see, that's the joke.
Non, moi je sais, mais
C'est des Québécois.
je sais pas que-
Tout le monde sur le vidéo, but we're all for Quebecers. Like, I went to school here, and this is how I started making videos and stuff. And this is what it looks like behind the scenes. Yeah, so really, also, I just want to show this, because this is the coolest part about it.
Ouais, c'est l'autre bout.
Non, moi, je-
Le collé, le premier. Ah ouais, ça c'est bon. Tu sais, on est à 58 là. T'as pas le droit de sourire à la télé quasiment. All right.
So making that video was really cool, because I can't even believe everybody was on board to do something this wild. Like, it's just to hit. But at the same time, on set, we all had a lot of fun. Like, a lot of the people who worked with me is just people from Montreal. And this is how we made this. I got this grant, but I didn't really see this grant. I never saw the check. I never saw the money, nothing. All I know is that we pulled some strings, and we know a lot of people that do videos and work like that. So we put all our efforts together to just make something. And but I was really, at the time, just hopeful about a career in Montreal and what would happen from it. But like you could tell, my music is in English, so I didn't really hope for it to work. But at the same time, the ego trip of being a rapper is something I absolutely wanted to try. So in this cover, I wanted to, because I started making covers in digital media class here while I was in night school. That made me buy a Mac, get Photoshop, and so I would do things on Photoshop. It's the cover I made, which was just kind of explaining my life. I was living in Côte-des-Neiges, which is crazy, the things I was showing you, and the Pierrefonds side, the West Island of me, and the East of me, to show the influences. But at the same time, I wanted to really lure in, like, I guess the listeners, the watchers, with something more subtle, more calm, more cute. But at at the base, I was just trying to, I guess, appeal to the world around me in whichever language it was. Because a lot of the music I'd made wasn't English, but I was collaborating with French artists and stuff like that. But I think that the language is just one of the bridges for the communication because it's the same person right there. But damn, this is. Oof.
It's like I'm giving placenta. I'm birthing all these rappers, never need me no Pepto. Cause I'm sick of these niggas. And I'm sick of these bitches. Microphone pop too hard, we gotta stop the party. Dancing on me like I'm Rudolph. Oh no, I'm getting lady. I'ma need a piece of the pie. When it's coming in, my stomach rumbling, my brain is troubling. Boom, 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 and then I zoom, zoom, zoom. Well, I call back, I said soon, soon, soon. Where the fuck I'm going? I said moon, moon, moon. Baby, why you looking like a prune, prune, prune? I thought you had a man, I might assume, soon, soon. I'm Fergie with my shit the way I boom, boom, boom. They thought I was lying, I said I heard your last shit, I said You should not be lying to him, That's a slippery slope. That's an opity dope. That's an opity dope. I smoke the dopity dope. Oh yeah. Look, you should not be lying to him. You should not be doing that. That's a slippery slope. That's a slippery what? Sleepity dope. What the fuck is that? I smoke the dopity dope. Oh yeah. Boom, boom, boom. And then I zoom, zoom, zoom. Well, I call back. I said soon, soon, soon. Where the fuck I'm going? I said moon, moon, moon. Baby, why you looking like a prune, prune, prune? I thought you had a man, I might assume, soon, soon. I'm Fergie with my shit the way I boom, boom, boom. They thought I was lying, I said I heard your last shit, I said
All right, so this is the same person, but that person is not trying to appeal to the same audience, isn't he? Right? The same video that came out maybe 4 months after the other one. I know that there's a language I'm speaking, but English or French, if I go to the root of my origins, is not my fucking language. So really, I was looking at this aspect of when I was promoting the first album compared to a lot of, a bit of ego trips, more of a being in your face and stuff like that, just using the same artistic, I guess, skills that I think I have, but just to show something different. I want to show how, depending on where you situate yourself to the public, everything changes, for your race, your age, your sex, culture, territory, even your partner, the person you're with. The world will see you a certain way. Like I don't know if you guys know who Tyler, the Creator is, but Tyler, the Creator, you can see the shirt, he looks nicer. But Marlo is from a TV show called The Wire, where he's a big gangster. And as Mackay Pfeiffer, and I don't remember Shawty, but anyways, it's in the dance. It was in a dance movie, so you see the difference where he's portrayed as the same man, but So this is the cover for the song Bloom compared to a song I have in French called C'est la vie. I forgot to put the link in there, put the video in there, but that song is about like success and changing and all that compared to the first one where it's like hopeful and wanting something. So the difference between like success and just success, it's not the same thing, doesn't hit the same way. The perspective I want to show with this is that everybody has their own perspective. When you see the scene, you might wonder, what the fuck does this mean? But it means everything. It means like, is it the public? How does the public see you? What do they want from you? Like, do they want you to be nice, or do they want you to be like a show, a spectacle of yourself? So it's a book I found about the first black superstar, right? He is showing himself to a public. He just wants to be accepted. He wants to be rich. He wants to have everything. So then it's like theater. You take everything and then you use whatever you have. If it's language, in my case, where I'm from, because it's Montreal, I guess that's what I'm going to use. But I'm trying to say something much bigger than that. I guess I'm using language to talk about it, right? So this is a whole show I had done, because during COVID, there was some grants that came about to keep some of the rooms open. So when I was releasing so much music that some of the rooms contacted me to do some shows. So I did this album called On est là. Je sais pas, il y a des Haïtiens dans la salle. Il y a pas d'Haïtiens ici. Let's go, on est là. There it is. This is how we do this. That's my example of what on est là is to Haitians, We out here, on est là. But in English, it's we here, But when you hear that we here, it sounds a bit more hip-hop, New York 90s, like we're here type of thing. So I want to make that difference and just use it almost like James Bond, boxing a lot. I'm boxing a lot. I'm cashing a lot. I'm smiling a lot. I'm laughing a lot. Yeah, so I just you know, a lot of things started changing recently with my music and everything, and I thought the aspect of the hat backwards was the most funny thing for rap, because when you say hip hop or all that, you know, a yo, what is it really? It's just the hat you see backwards, and you saw something different from it. But check this, it's in French.
Anglais, tu rappes en anglais. Je me suis demandé si à un moment donné, tu n'avais pas envie d'embarquer dans le train du rap francophone qui est hyper en santé ici.
Je l'ai fait, mais moi je l'ai fait en moment vraiment underground. Mes chansons francophones, c'est vraiment juste le monde qui savent. Ouais, quoi, il y a une chanson. Il faut que tu ailles la chercher.
Like, I'm speaking in French to this dude, and he's really telling me, yo, why don't you stay in Quebec, you fucking asshole? Sorry, but I was there for years. I have to say this. I was there for years. If I decided to go to Toronto because, like, there's a bit more of a scene that's going to accept me, you shouldn't say, like, why are you leaving? Why don't you stay with us? But that's just how it goes. So I was using that to just show that, you know, to show that aspect. And they didn't see anything through it, you know. This is something that happened recently, but it's like a video I took last year. I don't even know why I started to just pick up right now, but it picked up right now. Some people were like, well, they're explaining it.
A local rapper has inadvertently found himself at the center of a linguistic controversy. It involves a video of him that was shared by the developer of Montreal's light rail project. The apparent problem? He was rapping in English. Sarah Levitt has more.
We done ram a train, and now they building one. Oh, yeah.
This video was taken last year at an official event to unveil a replica of the REM train. But it was only this week the video stirred some controversy when it was posted on the Light Rail Project's TikTok channel. Maky Lavender repping a jersey with the REM's official logo, rapping mostly in English.
You tell your friends that we met. They said, would you mind doing that verse in the train? We'll clear everybody and we'll just do a quick video. And they said, let's put it on TikTok.
The Journal de Montréal first noticed the post, which it reported was filled with complaints. After the paper asked why the rap was in English, the post was swiftly taken down. CBC has not seen the original post. Maky Lavender says it was REM employees who asked if they could film him.
Yeah, I do find that weird. They were scared of the backlash that would come from as soon as someone mentions language, I guess.
CDPQ Infra, the developer in charge of the REM, wouldn't give an interview. Instead, it sent this statement. The content from the local artist did not meet our publication criteria. Our digital platforms highlight the different milestones of the project and are mostly in French.
Your friends will switch, your family will switch, everything gonna change.
Maky Lavender has been rapping for years, mostly in English, he says, with the hope he can make it outside of Quebec.
On sait pas t'es qui, bro.
But he does rap in French as well.
I don't understand how that makes sense, because I'm Francophone as well. Like, I speak French, it's my first language.
He's not sure he'll continue rapping because the politics around language in Quebec is just too hard to handle. Sarah Levitt, CBC News, Montreal.
A player with the Montreal Alouettes.
That's stupid, isn't it? Well, I used it. I just never stop. Every time stuff like that happens, I use it to do like stuff for my music, for my own career. So they gave me so much promotion. I think this has to do with why I'm here right now too. So they gave me so much promotion that I did a tour. I just came back because I was checking different things. After this tour, when it finished in Vancouver, I went to France and I went to London. So, and I'm still grateful to be from Montreal because that makes me be able to go from France to London, like, and with no problem. So while I was in London, I saw this 2 books. I was really geeking. Like, I couldn't believe how cool this was. Because Oscar Peterson, if you know where he's from here. He's from Montreal. He's from actually Bergs, and you know, he's one of the greatest jazz musicians to ever be from here. And he went away, and he just went away to do what he needed to do. And this, as you see the book right next to him is Jimi Hendrix, another person who actually, when I was in Vancouver, people spoke to me about him because he's from Seattle. Seattle's 3 hours away, flight, not even from Vancouver. So he was out there, and he also was in England, and this is where he became because he brought the influences from where he's from and brought the information. So I was just showing the differences with like the brand associations that I do. When it's in English, I get to do cool stuff. Like,
Hey, Maky.
Angela, what's up?
Are you ready for the shoot today?
Well, I got my shoes, I got my fit. I'm ready.
All right, then. See you there.
All right, I'm coming.
Expect some shitty weather today in the metropolitan.
When it comes to the money, got my pockets on track, and I'm looking for the going out with the wife. It's a birthday, and I just got paid, so the drinks on. Got the plug at the mall when the shoes comes out, and my feet on hot, and my eyes on. So the ice on freeze and the wallet on cheese. Oh yeah, so the max on.
compared to something in French that I did, it was more for the kids.
Pourquoi tu ne vapes pas? Pour comme des millions de raisons. Ça sert à quoi de vape? Je comprends pas c'est quoi. Puis à cause que je comprends pas c'est quoi, je pense pas que ça fait du sens pour moi de le faire à longueur de journée. Personnellement, pour moi, ça me rend un peu inconfortable. Et je trouve que c'est beaucoup plus facile de vivre une vie sans fumer.
See the difference? I'm appealing to some kind of audience. Well, so this is something I'm just proud of, to just show how, you know, you could get your message across any way you want.
From the bottom to the top, on est là, everyone. Bring the bottles to the front. On est là, on est live, on est juste à côté. I will never die, my music will be alive. I will never die, my music will be alive.
So you get to see the bilingual in the song. I implemented it. They thought it was cool. It worked. So I just wanted to show some differences with like the word success, ou succès, or célébrité, and celebrity, and argent, and money. Like in one language, you know, success, celebrity, money, it really sounds more cool. But succès, célébrité, argent, it's a bit boring. I'm not gonna lie to you. So this is what I have for the whole thing. This is just my experience. It's like languages comes from culture and everything else. So I don't know what to tell you guys, right? Like, you're in Montreal, and this is an English kind of school, but some people are from everywhere in this room. We all speak different languages. So if you want to make music, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to do anything, I guess you just use those things as a bridge to the people in the community you're trying to reach, and that's it, because it comes from within. It comes deeper for whoever's experiencing it. But to the rest of the world, we all have our own experiences. So let's just trying to connect the way we can, you know. So I guess now I don't know how long I've been talking, but I think I have time. Shit. All right, we could if you have any questions or whatever, we could talk. Students. This is not gonna be on the exam. Like, you could ask me something.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you. It's important that you're also a Vanier alum. Thank you very much for accepting the invitation, and I think that you were able in your presentation to touch upon some of the topics in a way that was much more approachable than even some academics, because it also comes from your experience, right? Your personal, professional, and academic experience. And we're very privileged that you took the time to come here today and share that knowledge. Thank you very much. And it's one of the times I've seen, I was looking at the audience to see, like, you had everybody magnetized and focused on you, and that happens rarely. So that means obviously you have a lot of talent. So now please, we have somebody here who can tell you about being a student at Vanier, multilingualism, career in music or the arts, producing, being a business person. So feel free to ask questions, and you know he's more than capable to answer in several languages. Did you see a question over there? You just put your hand up, whoever had a question.
What elementary high school did you go to?
I went to a couple elementaries. I went to Adélard des Rosiers, which is in Montréal Nord. Then I went to Simon Desjardins in Rivière-des-Prairies. And then I went to Sainte-Geneviève in the West Island. And then after that in high school, I went to Saint-Georges. So all in French, yeah. I'll throw it. Teamwork, yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I'll start singing. First of all, it's very interesting to see from a very realistic point of view, you know, student coming from here and graduating and doing something very awesome. So this inspires us all a lot. You know, I think most of us here are very kind of lost. We don't know where to go next and what to study, and so it's very nice to see that you're successful and that you deserve it, and your work is very nice. So I like it personally. My question is it's probably basic, but I feel that it's important. What inspired you to start this music, and what are the creative elements? You know, I can see that your music is unique, and I'm sure there's like creative elements in your story and history that made you put that into work, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Really, when I was here, I was here around the time I was, I think, like 17, turning 18, and even like 19 around. And I got my heart broken, and I needed some time to just worry about some other stuff. Like I was at that age, you know, it's the end of the world. So really, that inspired me a lot. I'm not gonna lie, because it helped me because in school I had digital design, I think it's called, and it was a night class. And you know, all my friends were going to day school. They were like doing decks and doing all these stuff and just being like, oh, I know what the next step of my life is, and I didn't feel like I knew, and I was sad too. So I think that inspired me to, while I was here, to do like covers and this kind of stuff. So when I was doing that, I put all my attention into doing all the arts, and I had access to stuff. Like here, when you take video, you could rent out cameras, you can rent out like tripods, and I was renting out tripods. If I didn't have my laptop at the time or Photoshop, I would come here earlier, like, and just go on the computers. So when I was in school, like, I spent so much time here, and that was my way to be busy. So I think when I got to this point of my, like, to that point when I was here, I was able to get inspired from just what I had. Like, I was listening to music on my way here, so that was inspiring me. And by the time I got back home, sometimes I wanted to record things that was going on here. So all my life, everything that was happening, like from, you know, relationship stuff to friendship stuff to just growth, everything. So I didn't shy away from being inspired by everything that was around me. That makes sense.
Hi, I've got 3 questions.
What's up?
Are you or were you a member of any type of artist mentorship program? That's the first one.
In Vanier?
Anywhere.
Oh, no.
Nah, so you just mentored yourself, essentially.
Yeah.
All right, second question. You seem to do your own mixing and recording. Who does your mastering? Do you do that as well?
I only recently started working on albums in that depth. At first, I was, like you said, I was doing everything myself. Yeah, I was recording, getting the beats, cracking the plugins to just make sure I get stuff to master everything. But then when you start doing something that's, you know, more expensive type of music, where you have like drums and this kind of stuff, you really need to go on the board and then mix it and then sit with it for 3 weeks and then get a mixed version number 2 and then go back. So then for the mastering, I don't do it myself at all. I refuse. I try. Now, since I have like the -6 after the mix, I'm going to go to someone who just only masters and then get that mastered, and then you get it pressed or whatever you want.
Thanks. And then the third question. Can you describe a little bit more in depth the steps that you took to go from being someone who, I don't know, makes it on your computer and like does littler stuff to being someone who's a brand ambassador for Coca-Cola, Reebok, and so forth? Like, can you go a little bit more in depth?
Yeah, these were from being in the communication program. You meet a lot of people who end up going in advertisement and even just video creation, this kind of stuff. So since I was doing the same thing, I feel like I was a coworker a lot. Some of the songs, for example, was at the studio, like the Coca-Cola thing, happened because I was working at that studio a lot. I used to record other people. I used to be an engineer at that studio. So then years and years later, like they hear about my music, what I'm doing, and they approach me for this kind of stuff. So then, you know, I answer the email, go back and forth, have the headaches that comes with it, and I was doing that multiple times. So then years down the line, you could play them back and back to back, but they happen one point, and then maybe 12, 13 months go by, I don't have one, and then another. So really, it's just that's why I'm really proud to be here today because I get to show all the stuff I did since I was here, but not every day is cool. Sometimes there's dry seasons in music when you get nothing. So I feel maybe I'm that person a little bit, but there's still a lot to do.
Any other questions? Sorry, there are three. I don't know who was first.
At first, I was doing so much by myself that I was in night school here, and I was walking by, and there's a studio like right over there. And I was walking by that studio, and they were doing a session, like an info session, and I joined that program, and I have a diploma from that program. So when I worked after, everything I did before and that program helped me together because I was still mixing my own album while I was, and I was using the studio here to finish one of my albums. So it both happened at the same time.
So what is next for you? Do you have like an album coming out? Any singles? Tour?
Yeah, a lot. Like right now, the best cheat code. Let me tell y'all. So if you want to do anything, but in the arts, I'm gonna use an artist as an example. You need a staff of people, and you need to pay these people. So to pay these people, you need a lot of money, much more money than you would keep in your pockets. So I need to find different ways of funding and then do my accounting and do all this stuff properly. That way I could go through a 14 months plan. So I have to finish an album right now, and the studio that I work at a lot is in Winnipeg. Winnipeg is not close to here. It's a 22-hour drive. It's a 3-hour flight, and the studio session is like $500 a day. It's ridiculous. So you really have to believe that album is gonna be good enough. So after this album is good enough, I've been working on it for a year now, and it's still not done. So I have to finish that. When I finish that, I could go on a business plan and go that with different people, because I know some people in Vancouver and in Toronto and in France and in in UK and Amsterdam, Brussels, all this stuff. So I have to line that up all together, because I just came back from London on Monday, and I came back to do this right now here. So really, my plan after this, I was gonna think about it after, because doing this really stressed me out. I wanted to do it well. So my next plan is, I got a bunch of stuff coming. Really, I'm on the internet. My name is Maky Lavender, Maky Lavender. You can find me. You'll see the shit. But for now, I got to finish the album.
Well, good luck on that.
Thank you, bro.
So you're into music, obviously. Who do you listen to? Because obviously, like, you have a certain music taste, like, as you can see in your music. Who do you listen to? Like, does it like resemble your taste? Is this like something completely different that like you have like, a favorite for like country or something?
Yeah, I do actually. I listen to a bunch of different music. Like, I think one of the last songs I was listening to on my way here was some bossa nova. I don't remember. It was like Bon Motivo, the song was called. Like, the Wi-Fi don't work, so I would have played it, but But I listened to some bossa nova, and I mean, I listen to rap a lot. I listen to some rock a lot. I listen to pop. I listen to everything that I kind of like. Piano is really cool right now. I like that, and I listen to not gonna lie, I listen to a lot of the stuff that I make because I just want to get the songs right. But I listen to R&B a lot. Yeah, I listen to like a lot of R&B. a lot of slower stuff. Sometimes I like listening to music without any lyrics, but I listen to a lot of Tupac. I'm not gonna lie, still this day. So, yeah, and also because I work with a lot of other musicians, I listen to a lot of other people's music, whoever they are, when I meet them. So I listen to a lot of music that's actually some people that I've met, you know. So it's not only for the genre. Sometimes it's also for like the respect of the art. I listen to a lot of shit.
Do you find that if you only spoke one language, it would have been better for your career, or would you argue that being multilingual it helped it?
On a like international scale, it helped it a lot. But if I wanted to stay in Quebec, because there's still like a star system here. Something that's different to the rest of Canada is that like I don't know a Manitoba star or a Saskatchewan star or like a even Alberta star. Like these places don't really, you know, it doesn't. There's not that much like controversy about just the name of the place. Like when you say Quebec to someone in Quebec, like it starts. They're like, oh yeah, Quebec right away. So it's like it helped me, but I would have been maybe stuck at home in a way I would have thought was normal if I didn't speak anything else. If I only spoke French, I would have been only doing the French world, and that would have been my world, and I would have been fighting with it forever. So it helped me just to be international, but it would have been helpful if I didn't know anything else. Ignorance would have been cool to just be at home, do stuff in Quebec. You'd see me like downtown every summer, but contrary to that, it's not really what happened. So did it help? I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know.
As an artist and a musician, you really put yourself out there. What is your experience with failure, and do you fear failure when you make your music?
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, I have a lot of experiences with failure, a lot, and I gotta admit that failure goes with my emotions a lot. Like, in one of the clips, you hear me saying didn't want to do this anymore. Like, I think I deal with it. I was happy to be here today, so today I don't feel like I failed. But it might change tomorrow. It might change in a week or in 2 weeks. So, yeah, I'm a little emotional. I'm kind of an emotional person, so yeah, I do deal with it. It bothers me. It hurts. It's problematic. Like don't want to get up and do this shit, then I get up and do this shit. Like, so there's a part of my personality that just keeps fighting. But I do deal with it often. For sure. We have time. How long could we? We have until 12:50 or 1:15, right? Yeah, we do. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So my question is, so I know you have a French audience and an English audience of whom you advertise to, and I was curious, like as an artist, do you think that creates some conflict of like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like an identity conflict within you as an artist?
Yeah, as a person, it does. So, just like that's where I think I break it down in an artistic way, and I'm feeling healthy mentally, so I'm able to not get into the negativity of both languages, right? So, there is absolutely a personality crisis that I have, because I also feel like this is not even the language that I know that it's not the language that my ancestors spoke. So already there, it does hit. And then with the audience, I think it does as well. But Montreal is such an undiscovered gem that for now it's just for us. And when it goes to the rest of the world, I think I'll deal with it then. But, in London, nobody understands what I'm saying. Like, when I'm speaking, they don't understand anything. I don't have the accent. Like, I don't. So when I was in France, same thing. Like, je parle comme ça quand je suis en France, là. Je parle quand j'ai ma vie. Mais them, they don't understand me. So then it comes to this point where, like, do I really even speak French or English? I'm not really sure. So.
Okay, so I just have a question. If it's not too personal, how was it with your family, your friends, and what they would think of what you like doing, and did it affect you in a way or another?
Recently, my life, like in this year, in 2022, my life has been different. Like a lot of the friends that I had from a lot of years, it's just not, we're not close anymore. So my person changed a lot with what I was doing. So the only people who I guess I'm blessed with that really still ride with me is my parents. So that I have to be really, really grateful about because quickly, I think I victimized myself at one point and then made it like everybody's against me, everybody's mad at me, but nobody really gave a shit what I was doing. Like they don't care. So it's just really about more how much I was, I guess, real about what I was doing. So maybe they'll respect me for keeping my word and doing what I'm doing, but sometimes the relationship is not the same. When you do this and they do that, like there's a gap that still bridges you from them. So it's still like that. Like the close friends, I miss some old friends, but it is what it is. And there's some family members I haven't spoken to in a long time and I don't feel like it. So the thing that, the way you feel like it would go, it's going exactly like that. So yeah, the people judge, it hurts, it sucks, it's like that.
Hi. Do you think there'll ever be opportunities for multilingual artists in Quebec or Montreal?
Yeah, there would. It just depends on the artist and how much they're ready to fight and to do it. Because as an artist, I thought that there was more about maybe sometimes you win. As an artist, you just do the art. So it's like, as whatever age you are right now, if you keep going arts, like in the next 10 years, you might make a way for yourself. And that artist that's multilingual artist, they do that thing for 10 years, 20 years, there'll be a spot for them. But will it be easy one day? Is that what you're asking? Nah.
So you had brought up this idea of not being able to speak English or French, or not being understood in English or French where you go, and then earlier you kind of had this moment with another audience member over your Haitian background. So, and you're talking about your roots, and so I kind of the idea of colonialism and colonization and that kind of thing popped up in my head. So I'm wondering, in terms of your community, like if you think about your Haitian heritage, as well as maybe sort of appealing to, because a lot of the videos you showed sort of interaction with white Quebecois, but in terms of Black audiences and Haitian audiences, how has that been in terms of traveling the world, traveling across the country versus being here? Are the experiences similar? Are they different? That kind of thing.
Yo, it's interesting because Montreal has its own kind of Haitians, and it's a Montreal Haitians. Just like I guess the Italians, you have a certain type of Montreal Italians. Just like I feel you have a certain type of every country in where they are at. So Montreal is specific for me because it's like there's a relationship between France and Haiti. A good one and a bad one at the same time because we won, but what's going on right now. So the thing is, that fight I sometimes inherited here because I'm still connected to my roots because I want to. So it's more like I want to be accepted. But I try to speak Creole sometimes with like family members or like people, and they look at me crazy because my accent isn't as good, but I never get to speak to them. I'm just around the world. So even with Haitian people, sometimes I don't connect with them as well because we're not from the same neighborhood. We're not like speaking together often. So it's just, I think it become at this point where I have to just find a place for myself. But if the community does it, it's also it's something you make up in your head because at the end of the day, like everyone has their own experiences. Even if you connect with them just because you're both from the same place, it might not be real. It might just be like, oh yeah, we're from the same place, and that's it. So around the world, it's a bit the same thing because I haven't met a lot of Haitians around the world. I met Haitians more in Montreal, which was wild. So I think, you just have to make a home where you find it. Culture and language doesn't help sometimes.
It's an interesting way to end. I don't want to tire you out. Is there any final words or anything else you'd like to say? And we can...
Let's see. Enjoy yourself, all of you, man. It's Thursday. Enjoy yourself. Be good. And have a good rest of the day.
Once again, thank you.